Good evening and welcome to Point. What's your point? This is the forum where two young American adults debate important issues of the day. Once again, we've invited Kim Paez from Norwalk, California, and Kip Layton from Corpus Christi, Texas. Kim, what have you been up to?
Oh, same old, same old.
All right. Kip, what have you been up to?
I just graduated this past Saturday.
Well, that's very good. And you're going on to college?
Yep.
And what are you going to major in?
I don't know. I'm just going to go have fun first couple of years.
How many years do you plan to spend?
Hopefully, minimum 6.
Minimum 6, but this is a 4-year school.
Yeah, but sometimes it takes people longer to get in.
Sometimes it takes, so you're going in with the expectation it'll take you a little bit longer. Okay, we have a number of topics for you two to debate today, so feel free to say whatever's on your mind. Does acid rain threaten the environment?
Well, I guess has acid in it.
What is acid rain?
It's poisonous rain.
Yeah, but where does it come from?
The sky.
No, but how does it get to be acid rain?
It's probably natural.
It's natural.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It is natural.
So it just rains acid.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not caused by something we do.
I don't think so.
So it's just one of those days that you have regular rain and then, acid.
Yeah.
Should a president be allowed to serve more than 8 years in office?
Yeah, well, presidents can be in office for 10 years.
They can be in office for 10 years?
Mm-hmm.
So each term is how long?
5 years.
No, 4.
No, it's 10. I think it's 10.
So, okay, when was the last election?
November of last year.
No, it was like 3 years ago. He's on like his third year.
Wasn't.
So what year was he elected president?
Well, I just know it was 3 years ago.
Let's do the math.
2000.
2000. So President Bush was elected, he said, in 2000. You say it was just a few months ago.
Mm-hmm. I voted a few months ago for something.
I know it's kind of off the topic, but where do emails go?
What makes you think that's off the topic?
Well, we were talking about presidents,
Oh,
so I was
okay.
just thinking.
Where do emails go?
You know, when people push delete, they got to go somewhere. They can't just push delete.
And where do emails go when you press
They're
delete?
stored in computer space.
But when you push delete, doesn't that mean they go away?
Well, you could still bring it back up on your computer.
No, you've pressed delete, it's gone. You can't get
It's
it.
in your computer's brain.
What if you don't want them there anymore? Like, and then you delete them, where do they
Then
go?
you have to
They
throw
can't
away
just...
your computer and get a whole brand new one.
That's puzzling.
Puzzling, okay. Do you believe in ESP?
What is that?
Never heard of ESP? Have you heard of ESP?
Yes.
What is it?
ESP is when you know things before they happen.
I don't believe in it. They're always off. Like that guy said the world was going to end in 2000, never did.
What guy said that?
That's some guy.
Nostradamus.
Nostradamus? Who was Nostradamus?
He was the hunchback.
The Hunchback of Nostradamus. All right, let's talk about the New York Times scandal. Are you familiar with this?
Well, I don't know the scandal. I've heard of the newspaper.
Have you heard of the scandal at the New
I've
York
heard of the
Times?
newspaper too, but never of the scandal.
Well, where do you get your news?
I just hear about it.
From?
People talking.
You eavesdrop?
People talk loud, I can overhear people, so...
So rather than turn on the news, you just try to see people talking and get the news from them?
Yeah.
How do you get your news?
My grandpa. He always watches the news and tells
And then
me
he
stories.
tells you.
And yeah.
Is there any news story you heard from Grandpa you'd like to know more about?
He was telling me about a chase the other day in Norwalk. Police chase.
Police, and what happened?
I don't really know. He just said there was an interesting chase right by our house.
Does he ever talk about the Middle East?
I think he has, but I don't really remember anything.
What's going on in the Middle East right now, Kip? Do you know?
A war.
Oh, who's fighting who?
We are fighting Iraq.
We're fighting Iraq?
Yes.
Why are we fighting?
Just to get rid of Saddam.
So he's still alive.
Yeah.
No, Saddam is dead.
Did he die in a crash in Norwalk on a chase? How did he,
No, he was in a little, a bungalow
he was in a bungalow.
in the forest, and they came and they blew it up.
All right, Saddam Hussein was in a bungalow in the forest.
Iraq is desert. There is no forest in Iraq. It's all sand over there.
It's all sand.
There's probably a couple trees, but there's no jungle or
I didn't say
forest.
jungle.
Forest.
Forest.
Isn't it the same thing?
No.
What's the difference between a forest and a jungle?
Well, the forest is where Saddam was, and the jungle is where Mowgli and the bears are. Mowgli, Jungle Book.
Oh, of course. Okay, here's an interesting question. Should we colonize the moon?
I think we should.
You think we should?
There's too many people here.
Could we ever fall off orbit?
Fall off the orbit?
Yeah. Once so much weight's on the Earth, like we just drop.
You mean we get so fat that it gets thrown out of orbit, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, are you saying we keep adding more weight to the Earth?
Yeah.
Where does the weight come from?
What?
Well, if matter can neither be created nor destroyed, doesn't it always weigh the same?
Oh, I guess so. We get everything from the Earth, don't we?
Most of the stuff we have, we get from there.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay.
In the movie Bruce Almighty, Jim Carrey gets a chance to be God. If you were God, what would you do?
If I were God,
What would you do?
I would make everyone thinner so that nobody would have to go to the moon.
How would you go to the moon if you were fat?
Because there's too many fat people here, then it will fall off orbit, like you said.
We determined that you wouldn't fall off orbit because matter can neither be created nor destroyed. You always have the same amount of matter.
Oh.
I get what you're saying.
So if you were God, what would you do?
I would buy a motorcycle. Or I would make a motorcycle.
You'd make a motorcycle.
Yeah.
But you could get a motorcycle without being God.
Well, I just really want a motorcycle.
You just want a bike. You know, so. Well, this has been a fascinating exchange of ideas. I want to thank you both for coming, and we'll see you next time on Point. What's Your Point? Be right back right after this.